Okay. Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Shah, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Shah, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Shah. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to you Akim out there that has been pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. We're in the year of 2020. And we see what's going on. Now we in the midst of uproars of the people. Started with that situation with George Floyd, man, over in Minneapolis. But these are things to consider, man. And that's what I'm going to name this video, Things to Consider. Now here we have George Floyd, a Negro, which is part of the 2/3, that ain't right in the spirit while he's forging checks. So he's defrauding people. He's defrauding Negroes, Hispanics, Edomites, whoever he can defraud, he's doing that. So now we have Esau, that's the Most High's whipping stick. And what do you think is going to happen if you out there committing wickedness? So that dude wasn't innocent, man. That dude, George Floyd, he wasn't innocent. Not by a long shot. And that's why the Most High did his ass in, man. I have a few scriptures. Abba Ratazayu, I came out to be edified. And like I said, the name of this lesson is going to be called Things to Consider. Because there's a lot out there that we have to consider and see. If you're a man of the Lord, you're going to see through the psyop, you're going to see through the bullshit. This dude, George Floyd, got what he had coming to him. He was defrauding people. He was a thief. He was forging checks. He was stealing from people. So when Esau came to arrest his ass, he started bucking up. And Esau bucked up hard. So this is Job chapter 4 verse 7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent. So that dude, George Floyd, was he innocent? Of course not, man. He did something that was wicked in the eyes of the Most High, and the Most High put him to death. Whether in this lifetime, by him forging checks, or in his previous life. But nonetheless, judgment came upon that nigga, man. See, he was out there forging checks, putting himself in harm's way, because why? You forged a check from a wrong person, they gonna do you real vicious like, man, if they catch up with you. But if the person you defrauded don't catch up to you, the law, Esau, the so-called white man who's in power, will catch up to you. And now, you got to pay the piper. And that's what happened. That's exactly what happened to George Floyd. Esau came to arrest him. The dude started bucking up, acting all, disgruntled. Not agreeing with that adversary. He was being all disgruntled. And guess what happened? He got put to death. He got a knee on his neck. He couldn't breathe. Eric Garner 2.0. You see, Esau, what you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans is going to realize coming down the pipe that Esau, the so-called white man, don't give two barrels in a bucket about you, man. They don't care about you. If they could put you to death, they're going to put you to death, man. They don't care about you. They don't like you. They don't want you around them. You're not equal to them, according to them. You're just a parasite in the mix of them doing their daily activities. See, here we have George Floyd, which was, everything is of the Lord. See, the Most High had this dude get put to death because the Most High is the author of everything. to create this uproar, man. Second Ezra 9:1. Measuring the time diligent in itself, man. Seeing uproars of the people. And we see that right now. We're in that time. We're in the year of 2020, the year of prophecy. And we see all these prophecies coming to pass. Now we're in the stage whereas it's the uproars of the people. But it was staged by Esau, the so-called white man, with his Hegelian dialectic, or pressure from above, pressure from below, like the apostles brought out, man. So we see these things coming to pass, man. So we read the scripture again. Job chapter 4, verse 7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perish being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? You're not going to see a righteous man cut off. Was Jeremiah cut off? Was Isaiah cut off? Was Daniel cut off? Was Samuel cut off? Or any other righteous prophet out there that was doing the work of the Most High in sincerity, were they cut off? Was Judas Maccabee cut off? You see what I'm saying? So it says, remember, Job 4 verse 7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off, even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity. And that's what that dude was doing. He was plowing iniquity, man. Forging checks. Probably was committing adultery. If he's forging checks, he's a straight up nigga, man. Because not only you defrauding people, you stealing from people, man. So that makes you a straight up nigga. So when Esau, which is the Most High's whipping stick, came to arrest your ass, you started bucking up, and guess what happened? Esau put a foot in your ass, man. These are things to consider. Will the Most High destroy a righteous man? If that righteous man is doing that which is pleasing in the eyes of the Most High, will that righteous man be destroyed? He going to be put through tests, but the Most High is not going to destroy him. So this dude, George Floyd, he's out there forging checks. God knows what else he's doing. When police came to arrest him, he started bucking up and getting all disgruntled. And Esau bucked up far worse than he have ever could imagine, and put a knee on his neck and choked him out, which was judgment from the Most High Yahweh. Why Yahweh Shah? Job 4 verse 7. I'm in the 8th verse, going to the 9th verse. It says, even as I have seen, even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness shall reap the same. So if you out there doing all kind of manner of wickedness, man, being a nigga, committing adultery, being a gangbanger, being a homosexual, doing that which is evil in the eyes of the Most High, man, whatever you sow in this life, man, you're going to reap it, man. There's no escaping the judgment of Yahweh by Yahweh Shah, man. You are going to receive your judgment, whether you like it or not. The earth is a place of judgment, man. It tells you that, man. And 2nd Ezra, was it 2nd Ezra 14 and 35? It tells you, man. This earth is a place of judgment. After death comes the judgment, man. Roughly paraphrasing it. So here this dude received this judgment, man. Because he was wicked, man. Job 4 and 7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being wicked. Come on, man. Those that's in the know, they're going to acknowledge that and they're going to keep it moving, man. Talking about the 1/3. The 1/3, the 144,000, the elect is going to consider that. Because this is things to consider. See that this dude was not right in the spirit. He was forging checks. And God knows what else he was doing. But if you get caught forging checks, what do you think Esau, the so-called white man, is going to do, man? He's going to come after you. He's going to lock your ass up. And if you buck up, either two things are going to happen. They're going to beat the shit out you or they're going to put you to death, man. And this dude, George Floyd's case, he got put to death. That's going to be the end result of you bucking up when the police come to lock your ass up, man. Either they're going to beat the shit out you or they're going to put your ass to death, man. There's only two things. So your best bet is to comply, man. Your best bet is to comply. So this is back in Job chapter 4, verse 9. By the blast of the Most High Yahweh, they perish. Hey, what was that blast that came? The ultimate blast is going to be the offer. The ultimate blast is going to be thermonuclear destruction after Esau implement the offer the microchip, man, making it mandatory. That's going to be the ultimate blast, man. But it reads, by the blast of the Most High Yahweh, they perish, and by the breath of his nostrils are they consumed. Because that's something that's going into the thermonuclear destruction. But in this case of George Floyd, hey, this dude got put to death. Why? Because he was not right in the spirit, man. When Esau, the so-called white man, came to lock his ass up from, by the way of forging checks. You see, this is what I don't get about Jay. This nigga, George Floyd, was not doing that which is right in the eyes of the Most High. He was forging checks. He was committing a crime. Granted, Esau used excessive force, but you got to look at something too. This dude was bucking up. This is Esau's kingdom. You can't buck up against Esau and expect for no repercussions to come down upon you. It's madness. See, here this dude, George Floyd, bucked up and started going wild, and Esau got wilder and killed him, which was nothing but the spirit of the Most High, man. Esau, the Most High using Esau to execute his judgment. Job 4:7 on down to 9. It's straight and simple, man. These are things to consider. It's simple. Consider why this dude got put to death, man. This dude was forging checks. Was he right? Now you out there protesting for this nigga that was forging checks. Suppose he would have forged a check on you and did you dirty. Would you be out there protesting for him now? Dig that. The 2/3 you niggas, man, that's protesting the death of George Floyd. That dude was forging checks, man. Now, I'm going to pose this question. Would you be out there protesting the death of George Floyd had he would have defrauded you out of some funds that you work hard for by forging the check? Would you have been out there protesting for him? I don't think so. So you niggas are being a bunch of hypocrites, man. This dude was forging checks. Once again, I'm going to pose this question. If that dude would have defrauded you out of hundreds of dollars, or whatever he defrauded people out of by forging checks, would you be out there protesting for him over some nigga by the name of George Floyd that got a knee put on his neck? He got asphyxiated by a knee and he passed on to the spirit world, which was judgment. Would you been protesting for him had he would have defrauded you? Had he would have forged a fake check in your name and took money out of your account? Would you have been protesting for him then? Hypocrite? Nigga? Would you? You see what I'm saying? 2/3 you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. Hey, y'all got something special coming to y'all. Y'all got something real special coming to y'all, man. Because here it is. This nigga was not right in the spirit, out there defrauding people. But you going to wholeheartedly back this dude up because he got choked out. Granted, Esau, the so-called white man, used excessive force. But guess what? Esau is the fucking devil, man. Excuse my language, man. Esau is the devil, man. What do you think he's going to do? Of course he's going to do what the devil do, which is not right in the eyes of the Most High, which is evil in the eyes of the Most High. But guess what? Esau is the Most High's whipping stick on the left-hand side. The Most High is using Esau, just like the apostle said, the Lord Yahweh, while Yahweh Shai, is using the left hand to punish the right hand. It's plain and simple. These are things to consider. But only the wise of the sons of Israel is going to consider the things that I'm saying. But the 2/3 is going to go out there and protest over the death of George Floyd. And this nigga was a nigga, man. He wasn't innocent. He was forging checks. Granted, he didn't deserve that treatment he got, but that was judgment from the Lord, man. These are things to consider. And then, come to find out, while he's when police was approaching him, he started bucking up. Here it is, Esau is in his kingdom. You see, damn near the whole because you know what? When Esau come to arrest you, they damn near bring the whole precinct. So you see multiple police cars coming at you. They're approaching you. What are you going to do? Remain calm, use wisdom, and answer questions accordingly. Ask few questions, but answer the questions that they're bringing out to you accordingly, so you won't get caught with no bullshit. This is real quick, bear with me. This is Matthew chapter I'm way out there. Chapter 5 verse 25. It says, agree with thine adversary quickly. Who is the adversary? You Jakes, you know what I'm saying? You Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And this time, it's police. Esau, the so-called white man. Who run the society? Who is the wicked? Who has been given the blessing of the sword, man? So we know these things. So why are we going to buck up against the establishment of Esau, the so-called white man? There was a reason why George Floyd got put to death, man. Other than Esau bringing out his agenda, using that death to bring forth more draconian laws and to establish his new world order. Because what's going to happen is, then people are going to get to rioting hardcore and on a larger scale, and they're going to declare martial law. And that's going to be it. All game's over. Things to consider. These are things to consider. You understand what I'm saying. You understand what the scriptures are saying. So it reads in Matthew chapter 5 verse 25. And it reads, agree with thine adversary quickly while thou art in the way with him. So when police pull you over, or if you walk past some wicked ass nigga and he's up to no good, he's being your adversary, especially if he's coming at you in a negative way. But this is mainly referring to Esau, the so-called white man. So when the police pull up on your ass, man, and he pull you over, or if he don't pull you over, you may be in another situation whereas you walking and it's a checkpoint. You gotta agree with that adversary, man. You can't come at him speaking rough words, man. You gotta come at them speaking respectable, smooth words, man. Agreeing with thine adversary. Whereas a soft answer turn away of wrath, man. Roughly paraphrasing it. A soft answer turneth away wrath. So you coming at Esau, the so-called white man, which is in his power seat, with soft words, not trying to ruffle any feathers, how did you think, unless he's an asshole, how did you think he's going to come at you? He going to, alright, this guy's respectable. He going to treat you accordingly, man. And that spirit is coming from the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, because it reads in the scriptures, when a man ways pleaseth the Lord, even his enemies be at peace with him, man. These are scriptures that's constantly coming out. Because we're in that time, man. These scriptures are constantly coming out, man. Whether you hear from the apostles, whether you hear from certain elders, or men such as myself, or other brothers out there, another Akim out there, that's pushing this word of truth to the city, these words are constantly coming out. These scriptures are constantly coming out, man. The same scriptures, man. Why? Because it's the spirit, man. We're in the time of prophecy. That's why. And this dude, Freddie Gray, slacking that Freddie Gray, that's another nigga that got put to death by police. This nigga, George Floyd, was not agreeing with his adversary, man, which is Esau, the so-called white man, but he decided to buck it up. And now, the end result was, he got put down. No more George Floyd. No more. So it reads back in Matthew chapter 5 verse 25, it reads, agree with thine adversary quickly while thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and the officer, and thou be cast into prison. These policemen deliver you to the judge, and the judge giving the ultimate decision to lock your ass up. These are things to consider, man. That dude George Floyd, man, he was a nigga because he was out there forging checks, and then when police came to arrest him, instead of him, he know he was guilty, he know he was wrong, he know what he was doing, but yet he resisted the ordinances that was ordained by the Most High, and that's why that was his judgment that came upon him, man. He knew he was in the wrong. He was doing that which was evil in the eyes of the Most High, but yet he resisted the ordinance of the Most High. And the end result was him getting put to death, man. You can't make it up, man. And now you got 2/3 of simple-minded ass niggas and nigga women out there protesting for a wicked nigga that was forging checks. I'm going to pose this question one more time. And this goes out to them protesters and them people out there that's acting like George Floyd was some kind of innocent bystander that got put to death unjustly. He was forging checks. I'm going to pose this question one more time. Any one of you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans that's a part of the 2/3 had George Floyd within forged a check that was made out from you, or whatever the case may be, defrauding you, do trickeries and lies and deceit and thievery, would you have been protesting for him? Or would you just say fuck him? These are things to consider. Because what's going down now is Esau, the so-called white man, what he's doing is using this upwards of the people as a way of establishing his draconian laws. But the 2/3 can't see that. But these are things for the elect, for the 144,000 of the hopeful elect to consider. These are things to consider. And Any man that's a part of this world that's starting to listen to these videos, these are things to consider. Why is that happening? Why did the Most High allow this dude George Floyd to get put to death the way he got put to death? And it was made publicly, man. And people was recording it. Things to consider. We're in the time of the end, man. Whereas you're going to see upwards of the people, clashes of civilizations. You're going to see hatred brewing in various places. Things to consider, Akim. Things to consider. So this is back in Matthew the 5 verse 25. Agree with that in adversaries, which George Floyd didn't. Because he started bucking up and fighting against them. And the end result was he got put to death. It says, agree with thine adversaries quickly while thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and the officer and thou be cast into prison, which is a concentration camp, a detention center, or outright getting put to death, man. Things to consider. Was George Floyd a righteous man? Job 4:7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent. I brought that scripture out. Was George Floyd an innocent man? Of course not. He was forging checks. Can you stupid niggas get that through your thick skull? He was forging checks. You can't make it up. Jake is just gone. Jake is gone. So it reads, it says, and thou shalt be cast into prison. Verily, truly, I say unto thee, thou shalt by no means come out thence till thou hast paid the uttermost farthing, man, which doing your time. We're approaching the time of the end, man. Esau's rulership is soaking in the drain. Last scripture before I close it out. But guess what? Like I said, these scriptures are constantly coming out. Why? Because it's the spirit, man. It's the spirit. That dude George Floyd, he wasn't an innocent man. Had he would have been taking heed to himself, he would have been out there on the highways and the byways, listening to the men of Great Millstone, so he could make amends with the Most High, repent, and come back in the fold. But he probably one of them cats that watched online, took my George Floyd, that watched online and watched the Israelites out there and had something negative to say about the Israelites, man. Which also going to bring judgment on you. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, but it is what it is, man. We're in the time of the end. You got people out there protesting George Floyd, but I'm going to pose this question again. Something to consider. These are things to consider. Had George Floyd defrauded you or stole from you out of your bank account, would you be out there protesting for him? A question that needs to be answered. This talk about you protesting 2/3 Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. If that dude, George Floyd, would have defrauded you of any kind of money, wrote a bad check in your name for any kind of money, protesting this wicked ass nigga? Things to consider. Things to consider. And that's the name of this lesson, bottom line. Because we ain't that time. We ain't got time to be out there lollygagging and getting together to go out there and protest some wicked ass niggas' death, man. We ain't got time for that, man. We're approaching the end of all of Esau's civilization, man. We're approaching the end of all this wickedness that we see going on throughout the four corners of the earth, man. It's about to be a change of rulership. So do we have time to worry about and to go out there and protest a wicked ass nigga named George Floyd that was forging checks? And these are things to consider. If this dude George Floyd would have embezzled you, would have defrauded you out of a check, because he was forging checks, defrauded you out of millions of dollars, not millions, thousands of dollars, Salaki. Because Jake don't have millions, they got a couple of thousand saved up. So imagine a wicked nigga like George Floyd coming to you and conning you by forging checks and take everything out of your account. And then he get put to death. Would you go out there and protest his death? These are things to consider. So with that, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Wakak Wadash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And with that, I'm going to say Shalom.